James and the Giant Peach, Chapter 39 by Mrs Santini. Chapter 39. So, girls and boys, would you have eaten some of that peach? I think at the minute, I'm not sure your mums and dads would let you jump on and share with lots of other children. I don't think I'd be letting my children jump on and share the peach. They've landed safely, they've landed happily, but what's going to happen next? We're right at the end. This is the last chapter, so let's see how it all ends. 39. And thus the journey ended, but the travellers lived on. Every one of them became rich and successful in the new country. The centipede was made vice president in charge of sales of a high-class firm of boot and shoe manufacturers. The earthworm, with his lovely pink skin, was employed by a company that made women's face creams to speak about commercials on television. The silkworm and Miss Spider, after they'd both been taught to make nylon thread instead of silk, set up a factory together and made ropes for tightrope walkers. The glowworm became the light inside the torch of the Statue of Liberty, thus saved a grateful city from having to pay a huge electricity bill every year. The old green grasshopper became a member of the New York Symphony Orchestra, where his playing was greatly admired. The ladybird, who had been haunted all her life by fear that her house was on fire and her children all gone, married the head of the fire department and lived happily ever after. As for the enormous peach stone, well, it was set up permanently in a place of honour in Central Park and became a most famous monument. But it was not only a famous monument. Can you tell what it is? What else it became? It was not only a famous monument, but it was also a famous house. And inside that house, there lived a very famous person. James Henry Trotter himself. And all you had to do any day of the week was to go and knock upon that door, and the door would always be open to you, and you would always be asked to come in and see the famous room where James had first met his friends. And sometimes, if you were lucky, you would find the old green grasshopper there as well, resting peacefully in the chair before the fire. Or perhaps it would be the ladybird who had dropped in for a cup of tea and a gossip, or the centipede to show off a batch of particularly elegant boots he had just acquired. Every day of the week, hundreds and hundreds of children from far and near came pouring into the city to see the marvellous peach stone in the park. And James Henry Trotter, who once, if you remember, had been the saddest and loneliest little boy that you could find, now had all the friends and playmates in the world. And because so many of them were always begging him to tell his story again and again, or the story of his adventures on the peach, he thought it would be nice if one day he sat down and wrote it as a book. So he did. And that is what you have just finished listening to. What a great story! James and the Giant Peach. I hope you enjoyed listening to it. I think it's summer holidays now, pretty much. So enjoy your summer holidays, and we will all see you after the summer holidays. Take care.